All right, let's talk about the interesting dilemma of Raekwon Davis. And by the way, folks, if you have not done your taxes yet, please visit our friends at KSDT CPAs. Free consultation. You can call them, use that QR code that's there, right that there, and you can reach out to the people at KSDT. And maybe you didn't get to file your taxes on time, and maybe they can get you an extension and fix any of those issues, or maybe you haven't filed your taxes in prior years. Apparently, the government's going to go heavily after people that have not filed their taxes in prior years. Reach out to the great people at KSDT CPAs. Use that QR code right there, or call them, free consultation, and tell them that Big O sent you. So we've got an interesting dilemma with Raekwon Davis, and it's a problem. Yeah. This is a major problem that is caused by the underachiever. And Raekwon Davis, since he was selected as the 56th pick of the draft in the second round, he, out of Alabama, of course, has underachieved. This is a man that has 1.5 sacks in 3 years. This is a man that has averaged 31 tackles in a season. Not that the defensive tackle is going to pick up a whole ton, but we'd like to see still more activity from this man. We'd like to see him become more of a disruptive force. We know he has the talent. He has flashed it at times. We've seen it. But is it often enough? No, it's not. And that's a problem with Raekwon Davis. The problem gets even bigger, ladies and gentlemen. Why? He's a second round pick. He is now entering his final season. They didn't extend him. They're not doing anything. So now he's playing for a new contract. This becomes the most dangerous thing out there. And at the moment, it doesn't look like it because they are not household names. Josiah Bronson is a free agent, street free agent that's on the roster. And Brandon Pilley out of USC is an undrafted college free agent. So these are the guys that are right now lined up at his same position. So it's not like he has any kind of proven talent ready to challenge him for a spot. So we've started the OTAs. You don't necessarily win any kind of jobs in the OTAs. But things are changing now for Raekwon Davis. Why? Because Flo is no longer around. And the people that drafted you, well, now they're still here, but the problem is you're led by a different defensive coordinator in Vic Fangio. So you're not Vic Fangio's guy. In fact, Brandon Pilley out of USC might be here because of Vic Fangio. That might have been one of the guys that Fangio liked and said, Chris, go get that guy as an undrafted free agent. He's got a little something in him that might fit what I like to do. And so at this point in time, in Vic Fangio's eyes, Raekwon Davis hasn't earned the goddamn thing. And in the front office's eyes, Raekwon Davis has not earned the new contract. So here we got a problem now. And now we've got this dilemma that is very disturbing, right? Because you've got a young man who's got a ton of talent. We see that he can be a force at times, okay? But it rarely happens. It doesn't happen enough. So what happens if this year all of a sudden he becomes that force? Did he mature, or does he know that, okay, if I don't ball, I'm out. I'm done. I now have to go somewhere else, play for veteran minimum. But if I want a new contract, I got to play like I want a new contract. So then are you merely just playing for a new deal and then you're going to go back to kind of just getting by again? And that's the danger that Chris Greer now has. This is now the frustrations for Mike McDaniel and Vic Fangio. McDaniel saw him last year, but then this year sees him turn a page, and all of a sudden, he's more alert in practice. He's dominating in games. He's making game-changing plays. He's stuffing people behind the line of scrimmage. All of a sudden, he's doing all the things that he couldn't do in years 1, 2, and 3 on a consistent basis. So what do you do? See, the decision is easy if he continues to play at this pace again, where he picks up half a sack, because that's what he averages, half a sack a year, and 31 tackles. The decision's easy. All right, Raekwon, you're all right, but you're not worthy of big money, and you weren't worthy of a second-round pick, because right now, Raekwon Davis has not justified being the 56th pick in the draft 3 years ago. So this is a very interesting dilemma that is going to develop here for the Miami Dolphins. It may not be a dilemma. It may just be a frustration. Oh, Raekwon's the same Raekwon. We now have our decision. We can move on. Let's check out the other guys on the roster, because that's what will happen the second half of the season. So all eyes will be on Raekwon Davis. He probably knows that. He and his agent have probably had a really nice long conversation, or several of them in the offseason, like, Raekwon, you have not played in the way that you want a new contract. They're not going to give you a new contract if you play by producing half a sack a year. Half a sack a year is just not good enough. So you're going to have to do more. You're going to have some game-saving plays. You're going to have to stuff the run on a lot of short down situations and turn the ball over and give the ball to Tua in the offense. You're going to have to make some of those highlight-type plays all throughout the year to convince people that you're not the same guy that can only give you half a sack and 31 tackles a year. So we're going to find out who Raekwon Davis really is, or will we even know? Because if he balls out, you, me, we can guess and figure out, no, he matured. No, he's still the same player. He's a phony. He only played hard this year because he needs a contract. But you and I don't get paid to do this. Vic Fangio, Mike McDaniel, and Chris Greer, Marvin Allen, Reggie McKenzie, they all get paid to do this. This is one hell of a decision. It's a shame that we're down to this, because Raekwon Davis has the kind of talent that it should be a no-brainer. You should have already agreed on a new deal, or you should be negotiating. Maybe the only good thing is that you've got to worry about Wilkins and Sealer right now, and then maybe you can worry about Raekwon next year. You know? That kind of stuff, because you're certainly not going to tag him. You know what I'm saying? But Raekwon Davis, who is the real Raekwon Davis? And do we know if after this season who he really is also? That's how screwed up this whole thing is. I just hope, because I want the Dolphins to win, I just hope Raekwon Davis has one hell of a season.